Are we supposed to write it according to the utterance? Like الشمالية, I write الشمالية. For instance, in Arabic we have the لام شمسية and لام قمرية. The word الشمالية, we don't pronounce the L. We say الشمالية. So the L is not there. Why should we put it when it is not there? We put it because morphologically it explains the definite article. Alif wa lam al-ta'rif. So its position is rationalized by the function of the morpheme, the definite article, that is al. So the rule that we can come up with is very simple. You render the language, you write down the language according to the morphology and phonology. Both of them what they call morphophonemic. But articulation is not necessarily compatible or may not follow exactly. So articulation, الكلام may diverge. So you write something, for instance, if you just consider the word in French, monsieur, and you want to pronounce all the sounds assigned to the characters in that word, you might end with something like monsieur or something like that. For in English, if you want to pronounce certain words like, so many words in fact, if you want to, for the word book, you have double O. If you want to pronounce the sounds, the true sounds assigned to the double O, you should have pronounced the word in a way like book. If you say book, so there is a diversion between the way the word is written and the way you pronounce it. So one of the rules in all languages, most languages, tell us that writing system is not phonemic. With the exception of 2 or 3 languages worldwide, writing system is not phonemic but rather morphophonemic. بمعنى أن نكتب اللغات على طرق القواعد وليس على طرق ما نسمع. If we write our languages according to the sound we get, we may distort. And in Nubian language, there is a famous word, a famous book, in fact, that is the book written by the late Mukhtar Khalil Kabbar, Nobinga Secret File, how can we write Nubian language? This is the title of the book. In this title, you find the word Nobinga. Nobinga consists of 2 morphemes. One of them, the word itself, the gloss, Nobinga, plus ga, which is the objective marker, أداة المفعول به. So all that we need is to bring the word Nobin and then to add to it the morpheme ga, Nobinga. But in articulation, we pronounce it like Nobinga. And then Mukhtar Khalil Kabbar put it, because he was a scholar and he knew what he was doing, he put it in this way. Later, Nubian language activists came to him, and mostly Nubian language activists are sort of amateur. And then they pressed him, no, this is not the right way, because we don't say Nobinga, we say Nobinga. You should have accounted for this sound now. He tried to explain. He was so kind, a person that who never knew how to say no. And eventually, he wrote it the way criticism that was expected to come later after the book was published. But he didn't survive to see his book published. He died just 2 months before the book was published. And this mistake remains there in the book. And I was so angry for that. And I don't know, angry of those people who pushed him into that, or angry of fate. Anyway, if you see how Nobi was written, and because we don't have this, we can't explain it here. So, let's how can I explain it? Anyway, I wished I had the laptop with me here so I could have shown you all this. What I want to say that the word Nobi, instead of consisting of 2 morphemes, that is the plus, Nobi, plus علامة المفعول به, the objective marker ka, we have ended with something that no one can explain, with characters that were not supposed to be there. And we wrote with double na, and maybe I think Bill Adams came across this. So we ended with a word that no one could explain. And if we go through the written documents or written literature of Nubian language that in the late decade, when Nubians started using the old Nubian characters for writing their language, if we consider all this, we come across a lot of problems pertaining to the methodology we have to adopt. So far, we haven't settled on a certain methodology. This tells us one thing, that we, the Nubians, with all this civilization, have not developed yet a sound writing system for our languages. And in this, even the phonemic approach of writing language is something that the Standard Institute of Linguistics have been doing for more than 150 years. It's not adopted in a strict way. You bring 3 Nubian language activists, you end up with 3 ways of writing. You can't call them writing system because they are not consistent. Even one experience is not consistent within its own endeavor to write the language. And this puts us in a very critical situation. If we don't solve this problem, we can't move a step forward toward reviving the language. And this is purely technical problem. And I'm so worried about this because this should be settled once and for all. And we shouldn't waste even 1 year on it. So far, the Nubians have wasted more than 20 years trying to settle something which can be settled, which had already been settled by experts on writing systems. The second point that I'm worried also about is, even if we settle this problem, we need to go forward in order to revive the language. Is not only to have a sound writing system. We need to have our own literature. I taught Nubian language so many classes in the last 15 years. And occasionally I come across some of the learners of my classroom, and I find that they have forgotten how to read and write because they couldn't exercise the knowledge they gained. In order, you need readers. We need readers to know the language with the folk tales, the oral history, let alone the international literature or mythology. We need to put down to write the oral history and so on, so in order to provide the learners of Nubian language with enough literature so they sustain the knowledge they are gained about writing Nubian language. And I'm not pessimistic. I've always been optimistic about that. What worries me that the pace is slow. I do believe in being slow but sure. But here the pace is slow, not sure. And I'm so sorry in this such prideful day to tell you this, but I've been telling the Nubians the bad news also that we have got a long way to work. Some of this long way is really technical. We shouldn't waste one moment on technicalities. We should leave these technicalities to those who know how to settle them. And then we should go forward and fight for what is not technical. That is the real way. To compile, to gather and collect and record our oral history, language, and so on, and then to put down into writing. And from there to have readers, to have even to put mathematics in Nubian language. The last point I would like to end with that a lot has been done in this regard. But the problem we are facing now, how to disseminate the knowledge of what has been done with the Nubians, that is also available. Of course, I'm not mentioning here the problem of resources, finance, and so on. Everybody is aware about them, but I feel that it's loud. Anyway, you said this at the end. I see now the difference. Well, I think that my studies, according to what, because I've been studying this problem for years, in 20 years' time, the Nubian language can be developed in order to be used up to the secondary school. There is a plan already set up for such a mission if we find the resources and so on. And however, some of the studies made in the mid-70s, and Herman Bell led that language survey, came to the conclusion or made that there were indications that in 50 years or 30 years, between 30 and 50 years, most of the Sudanese languages will disappear. And already 30 years have elapsed since then. And most of these languages are still striving and fighting. I don't think that these languages will vanish so quickly. Still, they will remain for a time, even if neglected, in the same way that they have been neglected for centuries. In this regard, I think the Nubian language, or I can say that the Nilo-Saharan language, the area where I can claim a little knowledge that will permit me to say, will remain longer. If we come to the Nubian language, one of the potentials of the Nubian language to remain is the simple fact that it employs only suffixes. You consider you have this word. For you, it is going that way. If you add something at the end, it is suffix. If you add something at the beginning, it is prefix. If you add something in the middle, it is infix. These are called the affixes. Arabic language works by employing the three affixes at the same time. For instance, أكل, يأكل, you have the ya at the beginning. Let us take يضرب, أو يضرب, يضارب, يضاربون. يضاربون, you employ the three of them. Nubian language only employs the suffixes. You have the stem of the word like that, and you will simply add suffixes at the end. And this makes Nubian language very flexible. Very flexible. You can, and this flexibility shows in the extent of long words in Nubian language, as from Arabic. And one of the most examples, and this will be the end of my talk, is the famous song by Saleh Al-Wali. He said, كل الشعوب للسادة حرية ذات البنية. Some people think that, but this is Arabic. No, this is not Arabic. This is Nubian language. But all the words are long words borrowed from Arabic language. If you consider the English dictionary, you may end up with almost 70% of it as long words. This shows the flexibility much more than, at the same time, it may show the threat. Arabic language is plausible to Nubian, but still it is an indication of flexibility. How Nubian language can accommodate all these Arabic loan words into the Nubian structure and Nubian morphology. In this way, I think Nubian language is qualified to remain longer. But we, the Nubians, must not rely on that. I'm afraid if we keep working with the same pace, the slow pace, when we finish doing all the homework, non-Nubian people will be left back who are interested in speaking this language. Coptic language is well documented. You don't know if you want to learn Coptic or Latin, it is there, go and learn it. But the Copts, all of them now speak Arabic. They are not interested in developing their language. And you have Latin language, you can learn it. Are we going to end up, or to be added into this category, people of great civilization who have forgotten how to speak their own language, and not only that, who are not interested in reviving their language? This is the question that the Nubians should face, especially in exile. Now you have your children here. They grow up speaking English. However, with globalization, we don't need to go back home to learn this language. And I and Herman worked on setting up sort of online program for learning Nubian language, so that people all over the world, a classroom, we don't need a class, in situ classroom. We can have this classroom online. One student in Jamaica, the other in Indonesia, the third, and so on. I think we need to work and to set practical plans to revive the Nubian language. And I know that those who speak Nubian fluently are aware how dreadful the idea of not having this language spoken anymore. Thank you.